The next piece that I'm going to read is called Beloved by Sky, and it will be coming out, it's a short story, will be coming out in the next issue of Postscripts to Darkness, which I'm super excited about. This story is about a tree planter. And I don't know if anybody here has tree planted or knows people who have gone out tree planting. It's pretty tough work, and there's a real party culture. I'm originally grew up in BC, so a lot of my friends would go out tree planting. You can make a ton of money tree planting, but you have to be good at it because you get you get your money by how many trees you plant. So if you're poor at it, you don't make much money. But if you're good at it, you can make a ton of money. I know a lot of friends would go out just for the season, which ends usually when it gets too hot to plant. So kind of early July is kind of the end of the season. And they would come back with enough money to see them through the school year. So a very, very good and high-paying job if you're good at it. One of the things that's really interesting is even though it's a really physical job planting trees, women are often as good or better at it than men are. And I don't know if that's because their center of balance is a little bit lower down, but you often see just as many women as men that are tree planting and are a part of the culture. So the title of this, Beloved by Sky, I had a picture. Where did it go? There it is. This is an Emily Carr painting that's called Scorned as Timber, Beloved by Sky. And I've always loved this one. It's very BC, but the idea that some of the trees are so high that they touch the sky and that you're out alone in the wilderness with this kind of landscape. I loved it. So this story is Beloved by Sky. I'm not going to read the whole thing. Also, I'm going to use some tree planter lingo in here, so you can ask me afterwards what it is, because of course, like any profession, they've got their own kind of lingo, their own way of talking. There's also an incredible party culture with tree planters because they're way out in the bush. Food is very important. They often anticipate like what the next meal is that's coming to them. So there's a little bit of that in this. Beloved by Sky. It's not a beach plant, this one. Mountains straight up and down, deep slash, remains of the clear cut like a murder scene after forensics have taken away the body. Screef, D-ring handle in hand, plug, duct tape fingers raw and nailless, rummage in the bag, not many left now, some dugs, that's all, near the end of the cut block. High up, almost in clouds. Screef, set foot down on the remains of an ancient branch. Bend, keep balance low, quick, plug the hole with a seedling. Happy little tree. Grow, fucker, grow, and she didn't really care, not this late in the shift. That's when she hears it. You prepare for bears, everyone does, especially her, them, the girls, this time of the month. They joke about it, but it's not funny. So a bear is what she is expecting, as though bears were in the job description, which they kind of are. She wipes sweat across her forehead, hot work, now well into summer, bugs gone, almost end of the planting season. She knows she's loud, and loud is good. She knows she is making enough noise to warn away a bear. Don't surprise him. That's the rule. In this one way, she tries hard to be unsurprising. She fears cougars worse because you don't hear them coming, and you don't warn them away. They don't give you a fighting chance. They come off the tree line cold, like wraiths. When she was a kid in Gold Creek, a young cougar had stalked her schoolyard, eyeing kindergartners like strips of bacon on a griddle. Will Jacob's dad had treed it, shot it dead. A good shot, a steady hand when it came to guns, if nothing else. She's kept her line. Lorenzo's main beef with this year's batch of newbies is their inability to keep a line, and she's no newbie, her. But Brendan and Kyle and Jay haven't, or are too damn slow, or couldn't keep up with her. The machine, they call her with awe, but she hates that name. She's no machine. But she is good, and she is alone now. Lonely at the top, she thinks. Again, there, where the fog swirls. Maybe not fog, cloud, like she's already ascended to heaven. She smiles at that, not afraid of heaven. Bears, though, maybe not fear, but certainly respect. You can usually smell them, like a meat locker after a lengthy blackout. They roam the clear cuts, looking for small game, an unlucky rabbit, mice. You don't think about bears surviving on a diet of mice. Tasty planters like her might be a temptation if the bear is young enough or sick enough. Her hand eases to her utility belt. She has bear spray. They joked about it at the camp just last week, scaring the newbies. Her and Lauren, arms around each other, Lauren pointing to the scar on her leg she'd gotten from falling at a wading pool when she was 6, saying, "Got me right there, lucky to be alive. Bear, fuckface, grizzly, young male, they're all the same, just wanting to jump you." She had chimed in, catching Lauren's eye, sparkling in the well-fed night, a bottle of Jack in one hand, the other trailing a line down Lauren's back. Highballers both, gods of the bush. Thousands upon thousands of trees growing straight and tall because of them. Okay, destined for the axe, sure, but not yet. Now they had time to grow, to spread their branches, to send a taproot straight down, anchor the mountain to the sky. "Sure," she'd said. "Carry fucking bear spray if it makes you feel better. Lorenzo says it's useless, and if he says so, it's a fact." Leaned in, and the newbies, Brendan, Kyle, and Jay, they'd leaned in too, and she'd whipped out her canister, pointed it to their faces. Because this close, seriously, if your unlucky ass is this close to a fucking bear, kiss it goodbye, boys. And laughed, had taken the joint from Lauren, smoke curling, before passing it to Kyle like an apology. Branches snap. Any planter would have sung out location by now. Still nothing moves in the mist. She spreads her arms, feels like she is going to sprout wings, might fly. Look bigger is the advice. Climb a tree. No trees in sight other than the babies left in her bag. No way is she going to play dead. Women disappear around here. Not up on the cut block maybe, but all along the valley, hitchhiking their way out of town or into town. Mothers and sisters and daughters gone. Not unloved, not unremembered, but certainly not championed. The numbers pile up, unchallenged. Yeah, but so, she tells herself, you think this is some creep driving his car up a mountainside ready to scoop my tough ass? Make me another statistic? Don't be stupid. Still, this feels like that. Feels like she's been seen, spotted, marked. She's been loud, meant to scare away shy carnivores, except some predators don't operate like that, do they? Some predators are there by choice, not by chance. Heavy, it moves like it knows where to put itself, just inside the mist. She clears her throat and it comes out a growl. Like Gonzo, her dog when she was little, a reservation mutt, long-legged, some combo of labor-hungry shepherd, a hollow-eyed optimist forever denied. A growl deep in her chest, like the slow drag of match head against grit-embedded cardboard. Smell of sulfur, a sudden and specific heat. A man steps out of the fog. Not a man. Man, no man. She can see this clearly, recognizes the unnaturalness of him straight away. How wrong he is. Her mouth is dry despite the growling that won't stop, that can't stop. Her hair rises all along her body, a miniature forest springing to life. Ooh. One thing that I touched on there, being from British Columbia, is the so-called Highway of Tears, which so many First Nations women in BC have disappeared over the years, likely murdered, sometimes hitchhiking, sometimes they're sex trade workers, but often they're just trying to move from one place to the next. I'm not trying to trivialize that with this story, but it is an undercurrent that runs through it, is the place of women out in the bush, out in the so-called wild, and whether you can protect yourself, whether you can't. And so this story was written somewhat as a bit of a response to that notion, as well as I love the idea of these tree planting women just being so strong and tough.
From the sky of heaven.